Hey there, I'm professional psychic Karen Marie, and this is Psyched Up Sundays for August 7th, 2022. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending your valuable time with me. Thank you to all my new subscribers and for my old ones as well, for those of you who've been following me regularly since the beginning. Love you guys. And a shout out to those of you who have been making donations to support this channel. Definitely appreciate that greatly. So keep that up. All right, so as usual, I'm going to be talking about the transits for this week. The highlight being we have another super full moon on Thursday. I'll talk more about the details about that. And then I'll do mini readings for all 12 signs. I'll put the timestamps below. I suggest you check out your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign. And if you have a stellium, which means 3 or more planets in a sign, check that out. Check out those for your loved ones as well. Like I usually say, we all have all 12 signs in our chart, even if we don't have planets in those signs, because we'll have a sign ruling a particular house in astrology. So let me just drill down. Let's start with the sun. So right now we've got the sun at 15 degrees of Leo as I am recording this. So this is in the second decan of Leo. So each sign is divided up into 3 different decans. Some people say decans. I like the word decan. And they're each 10 degrees apart. There's 30 degrees in a sign. So the first decan usually has to do with our relationships with ourselves. The second decan has to do with our relationship to the world around us and our daily life. And then the third decan is about our future and where we're headed. So right now with the sun moving through the second decan, we are really vibing with our relationships with others. In Leo, Leo is the 5th house in the astrological wheel. It's about our creative journey. It's about our creative expression, romance. It's about our children or the children of the world. So these things may be highlighted as the sun moves through Leo. We may find extra creative inspiration. We may want to get out there on the stage. That's a very Leo thing. Leo is a fixed sign. So we've been having a lot of energy in the fixed sign. The fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And right now we've got energy going on in all these quadrants. So there can be this sort of pressure energy going on as well. We can feel, oh, like it's really hard to move through space. Even though the sun is at its home in Leo. And so it's where it's the brightest, it shines the light, it shines the light on our own soul's light. Like, so the sun moving through Leo enables us to shine the best from the soul, right? That makes sense. So last week we had a triple conjunction of the North Node, Uranus, and Mars all together in this skies. Of course, I talked about that extensively in the last couple of videos. Very, very rare transit. Last time the 3 of these got together in Taurus was 2,300 years ago. The North Node and Uranus getting together also is fairly rare. It happens every 16 years. Right now, they're still conjunct. So Uranus and the North Node are still together. So this is still, the theme is sudden, surprising events. The North Node is our collective destiny, what we're all learning on this planet. Uranus is the great awakener. It's the ruler of Aquarius. It's doing things outside the box. It's curveballs being thrown. So even last week, sudden unexpected events were like the thing, like almost daily there was something shocking hitting. We had like volcanoes erupting in Iceland, earthquakes over in the Philippines. Even on the social level, like media, what was coming out in the media, we had Alex Jones admitting that he lied. To me, that was shocking. His lies in general, like he's in court. For those of you that don't know, Alex Jones is a radio commentator, and he's been spinning conspiracy theories and has basically been saying that the Sandy Hook massacre was a hoax. So he's being sued by by the parents of the children that were lost in Sandy Hook. It's not surprising that he was in court. What was surprising is that he admitted that he was lying. To me, that was a surprising thing. The voters in Kansas, which is a Republican state, voting to uphold the abortion laws in that state. That is a sudden sort of surprising kind of thing that's happening. So, on a personal level, I definitely got shocking, surprising news from a loved one. So it, this is the theme. It can feel disconcerting to just get curveballs out of nowhere. So that energy, actually, the North Node and Uranus are going to be traveling in conjunction within a few degrees of each other for the rest of the year. So really get used to incoming surprises. It's going to definitely be continuing to be the theme. So this is happening in Taurus. So the energy of Taurus is about valuing ourselves. It's about our valuables. It's about how we feed ourselves, how we clothe ourselves. It's our money, our finances. It's ruled by Venus. And so a lot of relationship things are coming to a head. Surprising incomings, people coming into your life in surprising ways, people exiting lives in surprising ways. So if you're having relationship breakups or breakthroughs, you're in rhythm. Mars is still conjunct these two. It's moving on down the line. However, it's at 22 degrees as I'm recording this. So it's still 4 degrees off. So it's like Mars got this big energy jolt with the North Node and Uranus together. And so it's continuing on, kind of stirred up. And so we may feel inspired to take unique action. Mars is about how we take action and put energy into things. And so it's gotten this jolt from Uranus and the North Node. It's like getting hit by electricity, getting hit by lightning. And so we may feel extra charged in terms of like taking action or going after what we want. Taurus is a lot of times about manifesting. Like, what do you want to manifest? A lot of people with a lot of Taurus in their charts are great manifestors. Also very creative energy. So again, here's some more creative energy. Leo's creating with the sun over there. We've got Mars and Uranus and the North Node and Taurus. Lots of creative juju being stirred up. So if you're an artist of any kind, musician, actor, like, chances are you have been really inspired. Writer, and if you're not taking action right now, you're missing out on an opportunity to harness this creative, inspirational energy and putting it into something. So even those of you who aren't creatives, we all have creative ability of some sort, right? It may show up in the way you clothe yourself, or the way you do your garden, or the way you cook your food, or your approach to relationships, or how you decorate your home. I feel like everybody's getting a jolt of this creative, inspired energy right now, is kind of what I've been feeling. So across the skies from the North Node is always the South Node. And so the South Node is where we're releasing karma, letting go of things. It's in Scorpio. The moon moved over the last couple of days, so it highlighted this energy. Things in Scorpio have a tendency to bring up the deep hidden recesses of our psyche, bring things up to the light that needs to be cleared out, bringing secrets to the light. So the South Node is continually churning up old karmic baggage, stuff that we need to let go of to release. The North Node and Uranus on the other side is helping that energy because it's across the skies. And so there could be sudden, unexpected past life connections coming in as well. People that you've known in other lifetimes that suddenly enter your life or suddenly exit your life as well. That could be also going on. So the moon right now is the mid-decan of Sagittarius. So the moon and the sun are trining each other today as I'm recording this. This is a really beautiful energy. Fire sign, you might want to be extra social today if you're out and about. Also powerful today, we have a square, which is a contentious relationship between Mars, this planet of taking action, and Saturn, which is how we structure things, how we form things. So this could feel like something's being put on my daily today, I said, maybe feel like you're getting the kibosh put on something. You may hit a brick wall, something may stop in terms of how you're trying to take action or put energy into things. Or you just may feel like too heavy to even take action with this square. A square is a contentious relationship. Um, and then we have a beautiful trine, completely different energy between Venus, the planet of love, and Neptune, which is the spiritual psychic connection. So we could have this beautiful expression of divine channeling, romantic fantasy actually coming to life. Or since Neptune can represent the spiritual psychic realms, it could also represent the realms of illusion, delusion. You can have something that may appear to be fantastic that's really just a mirage, an illusion. So just check that if you've had something really beautiful relationship happening, like just give it a few days, see if it still looks beautiful in a few days, because it could be the universe could be delivering messages, gifts through other people, even money. Venus is money as well. Or you could be like having some delusional, like, oh, this person is the love of my life. And you could just be like living in a fantasy land. So that's the energy today. Very powerful energies today. And again, I want to say this, I say this every week, but we can feel transits ahead of time before they actually become exact. We can feel them afterwards. So, I very often feel the transits before they hit. I will often feel a residual effect afterwards. So just because I say, oh, this is happening on this day, if you feel it a day or two ahead of time, it's all sort of par for the course. In astrology, there's no like exact, I mean, there can be times when things are exact. It doesn't mean that's the time that something's exactly going to happen. Sometimes on an energetic causal level, that's when something is set in motion and we may see the effects afterwards. Okay. So we've got the moon in Sag right now. The moon will be moving over the galactic center tomorrow. This is like the belly button in the universe. There's often something that will happen on a global stage when the moon or any planet moves over this galactic center, which is at 27 degrees of Sagittarius. For most of us who have been alive before the year 2000, the galactic center was at 26 degrees of Sag. So if you have planets or points at 26, 27 degrees, you've got things on the galactic center. It really kind of heightens your mission on this planet. It means you came in here to serve the whole entire universe, basically, and whatever you're doing with your life. Okay. So tomorrow, on Monday, we have the 8-8 Lionsgate portal. This is not necessarily an astrological lineup as it is a numerological lineup, right? 8-8, it is a check-in time for a lot of spiritual people. It's a time where you can get cosmic psychic downloads. The 8 is infinity, right? So 8-8 is double infinity, so it can be just getting a message. It can be a time that you like, okay, where's my life at right now? And then next year on the 8-8 Lionsgate, you do the check-in and say, okay, wow, this is how my life has transformed over the last year. It can be a time to check in, kind of like New Year's Day can be. So anyway, it's just sort of a cosmic woo-woo kind of a day. But also tomorrow on Monday, we'll be having the beginning of Venus opposing Pluto. So Venus is in Cancer. Venus is really at home in Cancer. Cancer is a sign that represents home, family, the mother, nurturing and self-care. Venus is all about love. So these two really fit together well. So it's been a really beautiful time with Venus in Cancer. Venus opposing Pluto, however. Pluto is death and transformation. So it can bring love relationship things to a head. Again, you can have this like, wow, transformative experience through relationships. You can have relationships that come into your life or an experience within existing relationships where you just sort of have a mountaintop experience. But it's also death, right? Pluto's death, transformation. So you can have the high end of like beautiful things happening, and you can have a relationship that just says, that's it, no more, not putting up with this. This is a no, this is the end of the line. So deaths of relationships. So the opposition brings out this intense sort of tug of war between Venus, who's lovingly in the sign that represents the mother, and Pluto, who's sitting there in its power and control in the sign Capricorn that represents the father. So there can also be a tug of war internally between the divine feminine, divine masculine aspects within yourself. We all have both, right? The divine feminine is where we receive energies, where we give nurturing and love in the world. And the divine masculine is how we take action, how we stand up for ourselves, how we protect ourselves. So there can be a tug of war, and this could show up in a way in your life as well. So it's really interesting. That energy starts tomorrow on Monday and it carries into Tuesday. This is Venus opposing Pluto. So there you can be extra sensitive and emotional because Venus in Cancer can be extra sensitive. And so something could be triggered that could be sensitive. Also, tomorrow we have the sun trining Chiron, which is retrograde. Chiron is at 16 degrees of Aries right now. So the sun will be at 16 degrees of Leo, making a trine, which is um trines are always positive. It's like a one of the, when you ring a bell and it rings in a beautiful way. Chiron is the wounded healer, and it's where we're healing things in our life that makes us stronger. When the wounds that we're carrying across many lifetimes become healed, they become places of great strength. So the sun is illuminating. Chiron is helping us heal. It's in this mid-decan, really helping us heal how we feel about ourselves, Aries, our relationships with others, since it's in the second decan, how we feel in terms of how other people have treated us in our lives. So there can be an opportunity to have a great healing in terms of how you perceive yourself, if you care or not about what the world, like, the best thing I think is to really beautifully believe in yourself and not really care what the world thinks of you, especially if they're giving negative criticism, which so many of us have experienced in our lifetimes, like not being loved and approved of. And so when we have when someone else is critical or negative, it triggers a wound, right? Like, so this is an opportunity where you may hear something positive come in about yourself. Like, sometimes it's harder to receive compliments if you're used to receiving criticism, and then someone says, "Oh, you did that so beautifully," or "I really love it when you do this," or "I'm really getting a lot out of your share," or whatever. "You've taught me so much," or "I just really appreciate what." This is a way where you can have a beautiful healing come about. So that could show up tomorrow as well on Monday. It's about self-care is what I'm getting to. Like, there's a lot with this Venus energy, loving yourself. To me, Venus ultimately is about self-love. And if you're loving yourself up in a good way, you'll attract other people who can also be loving to you. Whereas if you're hating on yourself, you're giving yourself a hard time, if you're treating your body like a trash can, chances are you'll draw in someone in your life that treats you like a trash can as well. So it's all, I believe the environment is always a reflection of ourselves. When we do our inner work and clean up our inner karma and be able to generate beautiful divine self-love, then we'll just really shift our experience of love in the outer world as well. So there's an opportunity to have some realizations around this as well on Monday. Then the moon will be moving into Capricorn by Tuesday. This is a hard working sign. It's a natural leader sign. On Wednesday, we begin to have a square between the sun and this Uranus in the north node and also the south node. So there's this intense energy going on, stirring up things. And again, things can feel volatile out of anytime Uranus is involved, out of nowhere stuff can be coming. Think of any Aquarians that you know, because Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. Can you predict what they're going to be doing next, right? They like to change things up. And so Uranus likes to change things up, doesn't like the status quo. So with the sun squaring Uranus in the north node and the south node, there could be something disconcerting that comes up or something surprising. Uranus can also bring positive surprises. It's not always negative. It can bring in something that's just unexpected. And then we have Saturn that's also in the square on the other side opposing. It's loosely like Saturn's at 22 degrees, whereas on Wednesday the sun's going to be at 18 degrees and the north and south nodes are at 18 degrees still. So it's a loose conjunction. Anything within, a lot of astrologers say within 10 degrees, the planets start communicating with each other. The closer those numbers get, within 3 or 4 degrees, you can still feel the energy strongly. And then, of course, when it's exact or just a degree or two off, it's very powerful. So again, like the Mars is like 4 degrees off Uranus in the North Node, but we're still feeling that. We still may be getting curveballs in terms of how we take action or plans getting averted. I've been talking at length over a lot of times last year about the square between Saturn and Uranus, which was this is like Saturn's the old, Uranus is the new. Saturn's the way we've always done things. Uranus is like, nope, we're going to invent, we're going to recreate that. So these two are moving towards another square. They're already in a square. Like I said, they're 4 degrees off of an exact square right now. So it's in play. So we're having this grand cross or a T-square energy between the sun and Saturn across from the skies and the North Node, Uranus, and the South Node on the other way. So this can, again, bring things to a head in a powerful way. It can feel disconcerting. Also, on Wednesday, Venus will be moving through the last degrees of Cancer. She'll move into Leo on Thursday. So she's moving into the sign of romance, Venus moving into Leo. That could bode well for relationships. Thursday, she actually is in Leo at 0 degrees, which any planet at 0 degrees can feel weird, strange. It can be psychically channeling information. So you could get information channeled in. Not only that, but on Thursday, we're moving into our full moon. It'll be exact at 8:35 p.m. Austin, Texas time. That's Central Time Zone here in the United States. A full moon is when the moon is in one sign, Aquarius, in this case at 19 degrees, conjunct Saturn at 22 degrees. And then across the skies is the sun. Always an opposition between the sun and the moon, right? Full moons bring things to fruition, bring things to culmination, bring things into the light. Aquarius is about humanity vibing together. It's about everybody winning. Saturn is about constriction and restriction. So the moon will be full in Aquarius, getting all these, you could get downloads because Aquarius is all about your psychic connection as well, and connection with aliens and loved ones. Like the moon is intuition anyway. And so when the moon is at its fullest, we can have full experiences of psychic and spiritual connections. Emotions get brought out to their fullest state around the full moon too. People can be extra emotional. So it's like we have this full moon in Aquarius vibing, and then the moon shortly after will be moving over Saturn, which could feel more serious or feel like let's get busy here, because Saturn can be this restriction, and again where there's a stop sign where you have to set up boundaries. So we could get some illuminating information around the full moon, and then we might want to go into like, okay, how do I make this practical? Or we could get some inspired ideas and like, okay, how do I set this into action? How do I make this happen? And again, this square is still going to be in play at the full moon, with Uranus and the North Node interacting with, because they're at 18, the full moon's going to be at 19. So that's just 1 degree off of a square. So again, there could be shocking reveals with this full moon as well. And it could feel emotionally heavy, just intensive. And again, because Venus will be at 0 degrees, and so that can feel extra sensitive. It's in a new sign. And so there can be this activation of just like lots of stuff going on at once, is kind of what I'm feeling. Like you could feel sort of overwhelmed. Also in the Wednesday, Thursday time frame is Mars sextiling Neptune, so the planet of taking action in a sextile, which is a positive connection with Neptune. So could get again divine inspired ideas about how to take action or to send something to someone. But also Neptune could be like where we have delusion, where we have illusion, where we could feel sleepy or tired. Mars, so we like it could just feel wonky and weird. Like Wednesday into Thursday could just feel strange. Lots of energy. Like it's almost like you have the radio on and the TV on and the phone's ringing and the kids are yelling and like everything going on all at once. Like sensory overload is kind of what I'm picking up. Could feel like that going on Wednesday and Thursday. Mercury right now has moved into Virgo. It's one of its home signs. So it's at home in Virgo. Virgo is about our health, attention to detail, being of service to others. So Mercury is the planet that represents our thoughts, our communication. So often it's easier to get your thoughts, your thinking can become more clear. Communication can be more succinct. But you could also spend too much time up in your head and mind and be batting things around. And then it's harder to tap into intuition when you're too much at figuring things out. So, it's great for attending to details, getting things organized, having great conversations, putting things in writing in a way that's very articulate. It can be happening with this Mercury moving through Virgo. But again, just watch out for the tendency to just be up in your head too much. Try to spend time grounding, focusing on your breath, focusing on your intuitive connection, breathing deeply. On Friday, we have a sextile between Mercury and Black Moon Lilith, which is in Cancer. They'll both be at 13 degrees. So Black Moon Lilith represents our deep-seated fears. And like Chiron, it's fears coming to the light, false evidence appearing real is what I like to say fears are. So it can bring out a way to talk about our fears or a way to write about what our fears are, ability to see what's blocking us, what we're afraid to go for could be revealed, right? And that could also be some things that are revealed in the full moon too, because full moons can bring insights. Then over the weekend, next weekend, we'll be having Mars trining Pluto, which is a positive transformational energy. And then the sun will be opposing Saturn exactly next Sunday, which could feel intensive. So we're moving through intensive times. There's just no way around it. I mean, if you're not going through something challenging or difficult right now, you're asleep on this planet. You're not awake. Like, I haven't talked to a single person, a single client, a single friend who isn't going through something that's difficult, right? Just challenging because it's not easygoing times right now. We're getting curveballs left and right. Pluto is still there in Capricorn, demanding that we stand up for ourselves, transform the power struggles that we've had in our life. Like, where have you given your power over to someone else? Pluto's retrograde, so it's asking you take your power back. Wherever in your life you've given your power away, take it back. That's what Pluto's asking us. Saturn retrograde is asking us to go within and restructure our time, how we spend our day, or where are we putting our time? Saturn is like a timekeeper. So are we spending enough time meditating and connecting with the divine within ourselves? Are we spending enough time caring, doing self-care, right? Are we spending all our time working, spending all our time giving to someone else? Saturn is asking us to get it more in balance. Retrograde. Neptune is retrograde. It's asking us to go within and connect with our own inner divine psychic self, right? Get out of illusion, delusion, addiction. The South Node in Scorpio is also bringing addiction things up to a head. What are you doing too much of in your life? What are you addicted to? the chart right now with all this shakeup is really having us let go of addictive patterns. Like, is it food? Is it alcohol? Is it drugs? Is it other people that you're addicted to? Is it working, gambling? Like, what are you doing too much of that's out of balance, right? With all the outer planets in retrograde, they're saying go within. Jupiter also retrograde right now. It is making things bigger. It's where our faith is. Going retrograde in Aries is like, do we have faith in ourselves? Do we have faith in our own process? So there's this beautiful, like, inner growth work that the outer planets are helping us with. The inner planets, Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars. Well, the moon moves through different signs, but um, and the sun right now is in Leo, but Mercury, Venus, and Mars are what are considered the inner planets. Those are the classic trio that represent different aspects of what we're doing with our personal lives. They affect us more personal. They're all moving forward, but they're all in feminine signs, right? Mercury is in Virgo, which is a feminine sign. Venus is in Cancer, which is a feminine sign. She'll be moving into Leo this week, but right now at the beginning of the week, she's in a feminine sign. Mars is in a feminine sign in Taurus. So there's a divine feminine energy that's very palatable and very strong here in the beginning of the week. That's really quite lovely. It helps soften out some of this fixed energy from the North Node, the South Node, the Sun, and Saturn, which is it's really quite intensive. So breathe deeply and often, connect with your own divine self. Everyone is psychic. We all have intuition. The inner voice is the connection to our guidance system. If we listen to our intuition and follow its direction, because a lot of people hear intuitive guidance and they don't necessarily follow the direction, or they get that sense, and everybody's personal guidance shows up in different ways. As you spend time tapping into that and spending time communing with your higher self, you get the messages that you need to receive. I always suggest that first thing in the morning, you spend quiet time connecting with your own higher self, your own inner voice, and ask yourself the question, what today do I feel guided to do? What would bring me joy today? Where will I feel like I would love to put my energy today? If you're coming half cocked out and you just hit the ground running and you're blah, 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 I got to do this, I got to do this, your to-do list, you can pull yourself off track, right? If you center yourself first and listen to your inner guidance and then proceed throughout the day based on guidance, you'll find there's a more beautiful flow. When you're in rhythm with your life, when you're listening to your intuition and acting on the way you're being guided to do, there's a beautiful synchronicity, there's a beautiful flow. You have angels, whether they're in spirit form or in human bodies, come into your life and bring you beautiful messages and beautiful gifts. Like, the universe rewards you when you're in rhythm. Conversely, when you're out of whack with yourself, you're not spending time in communion with your divine self, you can be hitting the brick walls, you can be hitting the red lights, you can be feeling just stuck and blocked, you can be spiraling out in whatever addiction you might be picking up, right? So, intensive times call for intensive measures. So meditate, even if you meditate a little, meditate more. Breathe deeply. That's the easiest form of meditation, just to close your eyes, take a deep breath, focus on your breath. Just thinking about your breathing and breathing in and out. In fact, like, just take a moment here and just breathe deeply. Let's take 3 deep breaths together, right? Even that can shift your entire day. So try to do that throughout the day several times. If you can't sit down and sit still for 15, 30 minutes, an hour, try to at least stop and consciously breathe deeply throughout your day. All right. I believe that's all I have to talk about the transits for this week. Now I'll go on to doing mini readings for all the signs. We'll start with the Aries. Let's see what the Aries need to know for this week. Got the isolation card. So on the positive end, isolation may be a call to spend some time alone, to like step away from people and the world and just breathe deeply and spend some downtime by yourself. This could mean this guy's got tears and he's frozen. This could be tapping into feelings that are frozen or repressed. It could mean that you're feeling isolated or iced out of a particular relationship, and then that's hurtful. That you may have some feelings coming up around someone that's not willing to be in your life. That could feel harsh or cruel. But if you just turn it around and utilize the energy, and you are generating divine love and joy to yourself, there's not anything you're going to be missing out on. If you're wanting someone else to love you, if you're focused on putting your attention on someone or something in the outside world, bringing what you need to you, you're going to be disappointed. If you're generating that love and compassion for yourself and feeling loved and supported by the universe just with you, again, you'll feel that showing up in your life. It may not be coming from the people that are icing you out, but the universe will bring you someone that will mirror back to you that love, that attention. It feels like there's some deep seated grief, some sadness. Um, you may have it covered up with anger if something's pissing you off, if you're finding that you're resentful or whatever. Drill down a little bit deeper beneath the anger, beneath the resentment. Hurt feelings are usually lying underneath. Um, I've heard that anger is sad's bodyguard. So again, there could be this frozen out, like, I don't care, kind of apathetic attitude that really is covering up. No, you really care deeply. So it feels like turning up the volume on TLC this week, Aries, like really giving yourself some soft cushions to land internally, some soft space to process the feelings and emotions, some time spent alone. Um, Give yourself permission to cry, even if you have to climb into a shower or bathtub, and just let yourself get into some feelings and let those clear out. Again, with the full moon, it can be intensifying this and bringing something up to a head. Let that wound be punctured and let it be cleared out. Let the universe come with its healing solve, and know that it's all going to be okay. Letting go of attachment is what I'm really getting with this card too with Aries. Like whatever or whoever outside that you may be attached to, it's like let go of those clenched fists. Trust that the divine will bring you everything that you need in your life right now. You may not have everything you want right now. Guaranteed you'll be able to manifest everything you need if you're generating love, compassion, you're listening to your inner sense of direction and you're moving in that way. But you may need to like just step away from the world this week a little bit. Have more downtime than usual. Have more time that you spend alone. Aries can be super social and spend their times just chatting it up and out there having a party, out there connecting with all your friends. I feel like you may be overdue for some downtime, at least at the beginning of this week. And then it feels like there's a shift. I don't feel like this is the energy all week long, Aries. It just feels like there may be some feelings coming to a head, some ouchy situations with others where you just need to generate self compassion and love and healing. And then it won't feel as hurtful what the others are or aren't doing or saying. And yeah. enjoying time alone instead of just feeling shut out. Embrace yourself, embrace your time alone, up your self care, make your own little inner nest more comfortable and soft, a soft place to land. And I'm getting it may be good to like get yourself some new pillows or buy yourself some flowers or go pick some flowers, some wildflowers even, or it feels like your health and diet, drinking more water feels like it's important this week too. Aries, like I don't know if you're drinking enough water. Some of you aren't. So up your hydration levels, up your breath work, up the self-love and self-care this week for the Aries. All right, I'm going to the Tauruses. I'm just going to go with this one because it jumped out of the deck so strongly. The Master card coming up. So we all have a higher self and inner guidance system. So when the Master card just jumps out like this, it's like saying that you have the wisdom for your life. There's some sort of creative project, some sort of idea that you're generating it. You're the entrepreneur. You're the master of a plan. Like the Master card is yourself, your higher self, not your ego self. This is something that's channeled from the divine coming out. And so this is tapping in, spending time tapping in and communing with your divine self. Um, you've got some wisdom to impart. You've got some insights to share with the world. There's some sort of creative project that you're meant to put out there and be fully illuminated. This and again, they've got the full moon here over his head too. So there could be some like it may be difficult to sleep around this full moon midweek this week, but you may be getting ideas. Like I feel like you're getting downloads, is what I'm hearing. Like creative downloads, ideas, inspirations, things you may want to write, things you might want to create, communicate to other people, communications directly just for yourself coming through. There's definitely wisdom coming in from a higher source, not just coming out of your brain or your mind or like overthinking. This is like, whoa, inspired creative downloads is what it feels like is going on this week for the Tauruses. Let's go to the Geminis. Got the abundance card. So this is a pleasant, positive message. It means you have everything you need. Abundance could mean the money's coming in, the relationships are coming in, you've got plenty of food, plenty. I mean, this guy has everything he needs. He's all happy. Got the hippie lifestyle going on. That may be going on for some of you Geminis. The rainbow downloads are coming in. There's also this activation between the sun and the moon. So again, midweek with the full moon, this could be a heightened time of creativity, inspired downloads. There's the mountains I see in the distance too. So some of you are maybe living in the mountains. Some of you may be planning a literal travel to mountains or having someone coming from mountains. It could be just symbolic of a journey where you're climbing a mountain and it still feels like it's far away in the distance. There's still a journey ahead. I'm also getting this lotus flower in his hand. Lotus flower produces its blossoms and its seeds at the same time. So it symbolizes the law of cause and effect. So when you set something in motion, you're getting the effect back on an energetic level, even before you get the literal coming back. So some of this abundance may just be like trusting that you put the causes out there to receive back and sitting in that knowingness. If it hasn't showed up on the physical yet, if you don't see the fruit of your efforts yet, this is about trusting that it will come. If you know you've been diligent in what you've been putting out there, the causes you've been setting, you can trust that the manifestation of those causes will come back in a beautiful way for you. I also feel like it's an abundance of knowledge. It looks like he's sitting on this big, large book here. So it's like, yeah, you've learned a lot, you've studied a lot. It feels like you're in this level of mastery, being able to teach others maybe, or shining the light for others, like putting it in plain English, something you've studied and learned about. So turning around, twisting in a way that other people can grasp it. Some of you are teachers, and are like, just like, again, I see this translation going on. Some of you may literally be translating from one language to another. Um, and it feels like there's a lot going on this week for the Geminis. A lot of good things, but a lot of activity. So make sure you're not spinning up in that head of yours that's ruled by Mercury, and spending time like communing with the divine and getting your inspired downloads, as well as enjoying lots of activity. Feels very social. He's sitting, not only is he sitting on a book, but it's like sitting on a purple cloud. So it's like things feel like they could be really wonderful. And abundance can signal getting a reward from the universe. Like the universe is sending you signals, it feels like this week, Geminis. It's like you may literally receive money or accolades of some sort, or people just telling you, oh my God, that was so great. Thank you for doing that. Even, a flower from a child can feel like something that touches your spirit, but it feels like the universe is sending you messages like in lots of different ways this week. So it feels like a really great week for the Geminis. Go to the Cancers. Some of you, if like Black Lilith is moving through your sign as well as Venus. So some of you may have had some of your greatest fears come up and test you this last week, is what I'm getting. It could feel intensive, and I feel like you're passing the test, but there's like like where you draw a breath and you all of a sudden you're just like paralyzed with fear, or you get like overwhelmed or super anxious. Like it just feels like that, feels like it's the past, not coming. I'm just getting the sense that some of you have experienced that this last week, of like fears playing out in a big way, like what you were afraid of happened, kind of thing. And then it's like, okay, it wasn't anything I needed to fear, or it wasn't as intensive as I thought it might be. It still may have hurt, it still may have been jarring, but I feel like you're like, okay, let me not put energy into these fears so much. Okay, so I've drawn the Fool card. This is throwing yourself fully into something, following your intuition off the cliff, not caring what other people think. To me, the Fool card is like, I don't care if you call me a fool, this feels right for me. When you feel aligned within yourself, you can take that big leap of faith, ignoring your fears, and yeah, this is like taking action. So it feels like an action step is happening this week. Something is moving forward. You're initiating something, you're starting something. Um, and there's a journey involved, because I feel like he's going to step up this cliff and he's going to walk all the way over here to where these mountains are. So it feels like it's the beginning of a long journey. There's also a new moon in this picture. So even though we've got a full moon this week, this could illuminate, but the new moon signalizes like a new cycle beginning, something new getting started. So I definitely feel like you're starting something new, Cancer. It feels like it's more about for yourself. Like he's holding like a flowers here in his hand, that I feel like this is for me. Whatever actions you're taking or whatever new projects you're starting, it feels like, even though it may benefit others, and probably will, given that you're a Cancer and you kind of are wired to do things for others, but feels like this will feel good for me. This feels empowering for me. This is something I need to do for me. I feel guided to do this. I've got to do this. Those kind of feelings. That's what's coming up. Like I'm going to do this. There's a journey, right? There's this road that's leading to this journey. So you're beginning something this week, jumping off the cliff, starting a new project, a new journey, a new something, new relationship. It could be. It feels more personal than that, though. I mean, it could be a relationship, but I feel like it's something that you're doing for you. Um, so something might involve a lot of effort, and it's not something that's going to be, the results won't come about so quickly, but it's definitely worth the effort, and you definitely feel clearly guided about, this is what I need to be doing, even if it takes me years to complete it. I'm doing this. This feels right. And I feel like you've got support from the universe, even though you may feel very alone, but it feels like, sometimes you just feel up against the world, and that your partner, if you have one, is not really listening or all that supportive. Like you feel kind of isolated. And a lot of you are single and not in relationships, but the universe is there to support you. You've got angels and guides that are there. So make sure when you're feeling sort of lonely or up against a wall by yourself that you really tap into the fact that there's divine protection, help, and support around you. Those angels could open up doors for you that feel like they're closed or hard to break down. Okie dokie. And we'll move to the Leos. The healing card is coming up for the Leo. So this is healing in mind, body, and spirit. There may be like you may be physically sick, and so need to just have some downtime to heal your physical body. There may be mental illness going on where you need to heal your psyche. You may need to explore what you can do to balance your brain chemistry, whether that's like eating more healthily, drinking more water, taking some Chinese herbs, going to an acupuncturist. This could be going and letting your someone else that's a healer lay hands on you, massage therapist, chiropractor, Reiki master, acupuncturist. Like this may be go get healing. Some of you are doing the healing yourself for others, and that may be your line of work. There's a big, beautiful lotus flower that's like blooming here in the center of the chest here, which is just like something eternal is being born, something deeper than what you can even see or know is happening. It's like a seed has been planted and is blooming. To me, this is something that hasn't come into fruition yet. And since it's in the heart chakra, this could be the seed that's planted for a relationship to bloom later on, or a job opportunity that might be blooming, or an opportunity to travel or expand your life and your heart in some way into the future. It just feels like it may not be time yet to pick the fruit, to be able to see the flower bloom yet. There's also the hand over the stomach here, what could be digestive issues for some of you, because some of you are eating some crap. You're drinking too much caffeine and coffee or caffeine, and it's upsetting your stomach. Or maybe you're drinking too much alcohol and it's upsetting your stomach. There's some sort of digestive health issues. Maybe you're eating too much red meat or pork, or it feels like there's dietary changes that you can make to really shift and change your health. Like even doing a vegan or macrobiotic diet, even like for a few days, could really help like clean out your digestive tract. You may need to go to the doctor and actually have some test run if it's been a chronic thing. It feels like there's some emotional debris tied up in your guts, in your stomach. So anything you can do to tap into what are those emotions that are knotted up within, and give yourself an opportunity to let those unfold. Again, that might be helpful to get some healing hands to help you with that. But I feel like there's progress in your health, in this journey of health and discovery. You may be having downloads about what you need to shift or change. Some of you have already received the information, you just haven't made the changes this week. Maybe this week you'll have the courage to actually make those changes and put them into place, or at least begin to. You don't have to change everything all at once. You might just start with one thing, like drinking more water, or eliminating sugar, or whatever, fill in the blank, whatever you've been getting. Because my sense is you've been already getting the downloads of what you need to shift or change. It's a matter of doing it. So yeah. I know I need to stop drinking so much, or I know. No, this is like, this can be, your health could be coming to you could get a warning with a health thing. You could feel like you're getting heart palpitations, or feel like you're getting the warning signs of something showing up. Edema, swelling, I'm getting for some of you, or like you're eating like the blood sugar levels are off, like hypertension. There's all kinds of health stuff that I'm getting that could be out of whack with some of you. And like I said, some of you are healers that are helping others heal these things. So if it's not you personally, maybe you're having a flood of clients with some of these symptoms that are coming in that are affecting you, and you're generating the information for them specifically, or you're doing the direct hands-on healing work for them this week. That's what I get for the Leos. All right, we'll go to the Virgos. Got Mercury in your sign. Great time to be writing, having great communication. Make sure you get out of your head and into your body, since you're ruled by this sign that's in your sign right now, this planet that's in your sign right now. Extra verbal, extra mental activity could be what's going on too. So breathe, ground. I've got the aloneness card. This card is about the spiritual search, which we always do alone, even if we're with a group of people in a church or in a temple or in a synagogue or a drum circle or a yoga class. We're having our own direct connection to the divine. So this is also signaling to spend some time completely alone as well, so that you can have an uninterrupted time to commune with spirit. If you're spending this time going within, there's a light, a realization, more information that you can be seeing that can expand your awareness to help give you insight about what the next steps are. Some of you don't know what's coming next. You're like been kind of groping in the darkness. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing now. And if you just sort of wait and pause and tap in, you'll get some downloads. You'll get some information. Pay attention to those little subtle cues, someone's name that crosses your radar, things that the universe signals, that brings in messages in more than one place. You start getting something Florida, and then you pull behind a license plate and it's Florida, and then someone calls you and they're from Florida, or there's someone from Florida on the news. It's like, wow, okay, Florida. Well, all right, guides, what's the deal about Florida? And then maybe it is that you're going to be taking a trip there. Maybe you're going to meet someone new that's from Florida. This is just an example. I'm not saying that Florida is being what specifically, but I'm just giving you, like, when the universe is speaking to you, it can show up in subtle ways. If you're listening and paying attention, you can put together the subtle clues and get a bigger message. So I feel like the universe is trying to speak to you. It's important to get quiet, still, and open so you can receive your direction, because it feels like there's definitely some of you may be changing directions or doing something differently, and starting into a new area, starting a whole new journey of some sort, some kind. And some of that may be carving out more time for spiritual practices like that. That is ultimately what this card is about, is spending time communing with the divine, having that spiritual connection. So whatever you're doing, meditating, breathing deeply, chanting, praying, do more of that this week. See where that leads. Like if you've got a little pinprick of a hole, see if you can open that up a little bit more this week and get a lot more spiritual download coming in. I feel like it can be a really revelatory week spiritually, like just really some out of this world experiences spiritually. Your dreams could be super vivid as well this week. That's what I get for the Virgos. All right. Now we'll go to the Libras. Possibilities card. So this is about things opening up for you in ways that you haven't experienced before. New possibilities. This could be new relationships, new places that you might literally travel to. This card comes up a lot when people are planning trips or planning to travel, and it's like, oh yeah, the sun is coming up here. So there's like an illumination of direction is what I got. Like your path is going to be illuminated. Which direction to go is going to be shown. We've got this eagle here, which can indicate seeing things from a higher perspective, is like pulling away from your life and trying to figure it out and like getting the overall sort of timeline perspective. This is just a little moment in a long timeline. This lifetime is just a little moment in a long evolution of lifetimes with your soul. So, what is it that your soul is doing right now in your life? What are you wanting to explore, experience, bring in a new way? Possibilities is like anything is possible. Don't limit yourself. This is about being unlimited, trusting that anything can happen, anything's possible if you're open to possibilities. But I'm really getting a lot of you guys are traveling or planning trips or having people come in that are in other places. The number two is here. So again, there could be possibilities of new relationships coming together, um, even new friendships coming in, receiving information from spiritual leaders, spiritual teachers. Your even friend who's not spiritual at all could say something profound and to deliver a message to you right now. But I definitely get that you're getting insight into where you are right now in your life and which direction you're headed. Um, and there's an excitement about what's ahead. There's something new, some places you've never been, whether that's spiritual growth, literal travel, new jobs, new relationships, new aspects of creative possibilities. Like this is all about something new, going where you haven't gone before, um, in your life, having new experiences. And I feel like the direction is going to be clear. You're going to know which way to head, know how to have things open up. Universe is helping you out, it's working with you big time, is what I'm getting. So listen to the subtle cues that come in, the inner direction that gets confirmed by external, and yeah, follow your dreams, Libras. All right, we're going to the Scorpios. The Adventure card. So you could be on an adventure right now or headed into one. This could be like a literal trip or traveling. This could be a spiritual endeavor. This is something new. You could be stepping into a new relationship or feel that one is coming. This card depicts a child. So this is something that's appealing to your inner child, maybe something you've always longed to do. This child is stepping into the rainbow portal. Like this is about not knowing, you don't have to know the whole big picture or how you're going to make everything work. All you have to do is take the steps that you feel guided to take today. And knowing that if you're doing, following guidance and doing what you feel guided to do today, the rest of it's going to unfold, the rest of it's going to open up. It feels like an exciting adventure that you're on or about to be on. It could be both. You could be on an adventure now and there's another adventure coming. There's something new. This is like stepping into your dreams coming true, is what it feels like for the Scorpios. This feels super powerful, super exciting. Discovery, making things happen, feel like the universe is supporting you. Um, and leaving your past behind, like not worrying about what went down in ways you didn't think was right, or like I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Yeah, this is not about being affected or plagued so much about past choices or past decisions or past relationships. This is about getting excited about a new unfoldment, something new that's starting or in process or that you're moving towards. Very exciting. Just take in that card a minute here. Right. Step into that rainbow portal. What is the next right step you feel guided to do? You just have to ask yourself that every day. What today do I feel guided to do? Breathe deeply. Like if you start trying to figure it out or do your to-do list, you can pull yourself off track. But if you give yourself that space and time to listen to the downloads and follow that, you're going to be on the right path for you. All right. Now we go to the Sagittariuses. Hmm. Ooh. The Creator card. This is you making things happen. This is you connected with your own inner divinity and channeling, like creator, like making something happen. So this could be, whoops, those of you who are artists or creatives or sometimes having something come through. This could be communication that feels very powerful. It could be a powerful reveals from spirit, like really feeling like you're channeling energy in a powerful way. This is definitely someone who feels connected with their higher self and know that they can make anything happen. And it's not like an ego. It's just like, wow, energy's moving through me and out into the world, channeling. I'm really getting channeling really strongly, whether you're putting your hands on people and you're channeling healing energy, or there's energy moving through you in terms of insights that you're doing, or new creative approaches to things, or creative projects, inspired ideas, communications with others that feel very inspired. And it just feels like you feel on this week, Sages. It feels really lovely, very spiritual. This is definitely the guru kind of energy, like his, his aura here around his head. Like there's all this aura lighting up around him, and then there's like a crown, an auric crown, and it's all just sort of activated with divine light and energy. So you could have an experience of actually feeling holy, like really tapping in, not to your ego self, but to the divine within you, and having some very spiritually powerful moments this week. So wow, there's a fire getting started of some sort, and it feels like you're the one starting the fire, and it's not like a wildfire. This is like a contained fire that's transformative is what I'm getting. Like look at this whole, this is like just so darn powerful here, right? This healing light, it goes beyond just the physical body. This is light emanating from this person, and it's affecting the world around. So there's, again, it feels like there's channeled energy that's going to be affecting the whole somewhere coming through. So pay attention to any creative ideas that you feel compelled to paint or play out if you're a musician, or write. Like there's just some powerful juju coming in. You are the creator this week, Sages. Now we'll go to the Capricorns. I'm laughing because I'm like, those hard-headed ones is what I heard. Some of you Capricorns are pretty hard-headed, got a pretty thick skin on you. I've got the sorrow card. So this feels like grief, sadness, loss, as sorrow would indicate. Something, yeah, that you feel bad about. Is it my fault? Did I cause it? You may have lost someone or something, and it's hard that you're sort of replaying something. It feels like sort of a deja vu where you just keep thinking about someone that's, or something that you don't have anymore, or someone or something that's pulled their energy away, or you feel bad about something you've done. This feels like old grief, but there may be something that's been triggered recently that kind of opens up a wound. um what stands out to me though, and I mean he's here, this monk is like crying here, but there's this beautiful sort of download of spirit here trying to like break through. He's just not creating the time and space to tap into that. So this is a note to self, like spend some time meditating, chanting, praying, breathing deeply, communing with nature, getting your head out of your own feelings and your own problems and seeing a bigger world, the divine stuff. Because this, there feels like this person may be isolating, maybe enclosed in a cave, maybe it just, the rest of this feels pretty intensive, like these gray walls that feels like they're hard, and like this, it almost feels like a dungeon experience. But there's this, I mean, he could be spending his time staring out here into space and having a completely different experience just by shifting. I mean, often it's important with feelings that you go into them, you feel them fully, and you let them out. But when you sit there and churn in them over and over and over again, if you're just feeling stuck in a negative feeling, then it's time to get up and move and do something different. If you're, you know, grief moves through stages, right? You have the denial, you have the anger, you have the acceptance, you have the release. There's all these stages of grief. If you've literally lost someone, if someone has died, a beloved pet or person in your life, there could just, like, you need to be patient with yourself, because you can't just like snap yourself out of grief. It's not about that. It's about feeling the feelings fully, and then what can I do right now today to bring myself some joy? What can I do right now today to bring myself some comfort, some peace, some understanding about why this situation happened, why I suffered this loss. It feels like you're making something personal that may not be personal. Like, why did this person leave me, or why did this happen to me? Kind of a feeling. Um, and I just feel like there's a sort of a bit of a wallowing in the grief. It feels like, breathing deeply, shaking things up, doing something differently, going out in the world and experiencing a different scenario, a different picture. Um, and I feel like there's other people that are there to support you, and it doesn't feel like you're letting anybody else sort of be there for you. You've maybe shut people out or shut people off. Sometimes shutting people out is self-protective. They're bringing in a negative energy and you don't need it. But it feels like there could have been like pushing someone away that feels a bit too harsh. They didn't deserve it. And now then you're feeling a bit guilty. You don't know how to make it better in some way. I just feel like you're getting some downloads about that though. Like, to me, it's about sometimes it's about distracting yourself and like reading something inspiring or watching something that will make you laugh, or connecting with a friend that brings you love and joy. And it just feels like you need a break, and maybe a break from yourself. Um, and your feelings. But anyway, this too shall pass, whatever you're going through. It doesn't feel like it's the feeling all week long, but it could be brought to a head with this full moon. Whatever intense feeling maybe have been suppressed or in there could be coming up in your face. Allow yourself to feel the feelings, and move through it, right? And soften. I'm getting there's a need to soften for the Capricorns. All right. And we'll go to the Aquarians. Here comes the sun. Dee. So it's the source card. So this is a powerful week. We do have the sun in Leo. There's about this also feels like it's an opportunity. The source is when it's divine energy showing up for you in your life in a big way. Like, it's a manifesting energy. It's feeling optimistic and hopeful and excited about life. It's knowing that you're not alone, that you've got divine support. Um, it feels like opportunities are there for you, inspired thinking, um, friends, connections. um, it just feels like you might be feeling really social this week and just feeling like all is right with the world. You may be sunbathing out somewhere, soaking in the sun. If you're here in Texas, you may be hiding from the sun, but nonetheless, this sun is symbolic of like inspiring you, bringing the warmth that you need. It's what right generates life. Without the sun, we couldn't grow food. We couldn't be alive if we didn't have the sun to spin around here on the planet. So the source on a symbolic level is the source of all life in the whole entire universe. So this is about knowing that you're not alone. You can plug into divine source. This is saying you're aware of that this week. You're like, yeah, I see it. It's everywhere. Like, I'm clear that the universe has got my back. The universe is inspiring me. The universe is showing up in a full way, showing me what's next. Like, I feel like the signs and signals are hugely loud and clear. Again, you may be channeling that information to others as well. So you may have people being flocking to you to hear the wisdom that comes out of your mouth, or the music that you're playing, or the songs that you're singing, or the art that you're creating, the social group you're spinning around. This feels like a really lovely, powerful week for the Aquarians. And then we have the Pisces. We have the projection card. This is when you dump your stuff onto someone else. You see in them what you haven't processed through, or they're doing it to you. Projection, again, both people are seeing something that's not quite there. You can project your positive. You can see, taps into someone's higher self and see with their highest potential, instead of paying attention to what they're really doing and saying and showing up as. Or people can dump their unresolved negative stuff onto the people around them and call them out for the very stuff that they're doing, which can be maddening and crazy making. Usually those two things have kind of match. Often the person who can see the other person's higher self and vision, and it gets hooked in to what they can see as their potential, matches up with someone who hasn't done their work and projects their unresolved stuff onto the other person and calls them out for the very stuff that they haven't done. Like that, those two can often be bedfellows. Relationships get pulled in, right? The empath and the narcissist can be pulled together. The psychic visionary and the one who hasn't done their work can get drawn together. So I always like to tell my healing clients, if you're a healer, if you're a psychic, if you're a visionary, make sure that the person you're engaged in relationship with is living up to the potential that you sense and see for them. How are they showing up on a daily basis? If you're in a situation where someone is dumping their crap onto you, remove yourself, right? It's, if you can hope that they will change and you're in this loop where they keep blurting out at you, these are abusive relationship potentialities, right? Step away. You don't have to try to convince someone else of who you are. If you find yourself defending yourself to someone, just know your worth and remove yourself. You don't have to, get someone else to see it. You just have to see your value and your worth. So these kind of situations could show up in your life this week. You could hear about them from other people, and you may be giving someone guidance where this situation is going on. If it's not affecting you directly, it's asking you to make sure, are you seeing the people that interact in your life on a regular basis clearly? Are you looking at them and seeing clearly? I mean, it's lovely to be able to see someone's potential, right? That's what healers do. They can tap in and see the things that the person can't see for themselves. But if in a relationship you're locked into that vision that you see, and that's not what's happening, then you're setting yourself up for disappointment again and again and again. So just make sure that you're looking at a situation clearly. You may need to remove yourself from a situation that's hurtful, if that's what's going on. If someone else is being hurtful, you're constantly defending yourself against attack, remove yourself from that situation. And if someone that you're trying to help heal, those should be clients, not personal partners. Just saying. It's classic for healers to get in relationship with clients instead of partners. All right, that's what I see for all 12 signs. I appreciate those of you that are sharing these videos with your friends. Please keep it up. Have a great, powerful week. Peace.